Every great journey begins with a single step. And at Jesse K. Hospital College of Health Sciences, that step is met with warmth, guidance, and possibility. Here, learning goes beyond the books. It is where future healthcare heroes are nurtured by passionate instructors who believe in their potential. From theory to practice, our healthcare assistant students gain real-world skills in real healthcare settings, preparing them to serve, support, and make a difference from day one. Because at Jesse K. Hospital College of Health Sciences, we don't just teach healthcare, we empower excellence. Admissions are now open for our January and February intakes. Step into your future today. Find us at Blessed House, 5th floor, opposite Garden City Mall. Jesse K. Hospital College of Health Sciences, empowering excellent healthcare.
A very good morning. How are you doing? Welcome back to Kingdom Business Network. We are covering you live from our studios, and we are glad that you tuned in today as we continue learning more and more deeply and in depth about many sides of business operations. Last week and this week, we've focused on what is essential for us today and essentially next month, what we call taxation. Last week, we were discussing about the different ways through which taxation within the new era have changed, especially the place of compliance. And we had a very heated conversation. And today, guess what? We are here to take it a notch higher. We are here to demystify the human perspective of taxation. I know how KRA views or perceives tax and how me and you perceive the same is kind of different. And we are here so that we can strike a balance, because the Bible says that the reason as to why my people perish is because they lack knowledge. And we are here with our guest who was benevolent enough last week to share with us nuggets of wisdom and knowledge around that wonderful topic of taxation. And before I introduce our wonderful guest, allow me to give this opportunity to my wonderful co-host, Karen. And you look beautiful today.
Thank you so
Karibu
much.
sana, kindly welcome our viewers.
Good morning to our viewers back at home. Welcome back to the part 2 segment about tax compliance. Today we'll be having a very honest conversation. Why many Kenyans are afraid of compliance? Is it the taxes, or is it getting things wrong? We will be carried through this segment by Brian. Thank you so much, Brian.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Karen. And to our viewers, allow me to remind you that Brian last time engaged with us heavily. We asked several questions and he was able to give insight to each and every of our concerns. And today is not different. In our second segment, he'll be answering as many of our questions as possible. So this is just a reminder to keep your questions coming. So our numbers are down there on your screens, and let's engage. I'm also reminded that our third anniversary is coming. Faith Today Television, we are celebrating 3 years of God's victory. This could not be achievable were it not for your participation, your engagement, your consistent following of our programs and episodes. We are forever grateful, and we are reminding you that you are most welcome. You, your business, your company, and your allies, your affiliations, we welcome you on board. That of July will be the big day. Come, market your business with us, boost your sales, and engage with fellow business people. And with us, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than the finance expert himself. I hear today, without the name digital, you are not complete enough. So our digital finance expert is here with us today, and welcome on board, Ndome Brian.
Thank you so much, our host, Bwana Ndege. Thank you also for our co-host. Thank you for having me once again for the second session this Thursday, even as we educate Kenyans on tax education. I believe finance education, financial literacy is incomplete without tax education. Moving forward, we'll have to do a lot of sensitization. And last week, we appealed to logic. Today, we will appeal emotionally, because there is a fear behind every Kenyan when tax is mentioned, and we might give them all reasons why they shouldn't tax. But until we handle their fears and we are able to help them understand that it is simple than they ever thought of, I think we'll not have achieved. So today we are there. We help Kenyans have the best perspective as to why they need to comply. Thank you for having me.
Amazing, amazing. And thank you so much, Brian. Actually, we have a Greek terminology for that. Today we are appealing to the pathos.
Thank
you. We are emotionally appealing, and we are so much grateful and eager to hear what you have for us today.
Yes.
And allow us to kickstart immediately into a concern most of us have. What really does tax compliance involve for an ordinary person or SME in Kenya?
Yes. Thank you for that. I think it's the best time we are discussing this conversation or this concern. And I wish we have another session on tax education even after June, because it always seems like we are supposed to have tax conversations only when it's filing season. So what is compliance? Basically, it has several segments in it. So first of all is the right registrations, because everyone that has an income should first of all have a KRA PIN. So compliance begins with the right business registrations. And we're talking of KRA, the others of Kanjos and all these others. But when talking of KRA, everyone with an income and is beyond the age of 18 years should have a KRA PIN. That is the first of it all. The second one is what we call bookkeeping. It begins with having the proper records of your financial transactions in the business. And that, when you're talking about compliance, we are talking about what we call proper filing or timely filing of returns. And fourth is what we call the right KRA or other tax obligation. We are in different obligations, and allow me to educate my listener on what we mean by tax obligations. We have what we call direct tax, and we also have what we call indirect tax. And under direct tax, we have what we call income tax. This is what we file annually, like what we're doing in June. That is under direct tax, that is income tax. From there, we have withholding tax. This one is remitted by people offering services like tutors. Every service provider is supposed to be deducting withholding tax. And the direct tax also is where we'll have other taxes like rental income tax, we'll have capital gain tax, we'll have advance tax. And then under indirect tax is where we have VAT, we have exercise duty, we have custom duty, and then we have turnover late taxation. So all these are tax obligations. So every business person, when talking about compliance, needs to understand under which tax obligation do they fall under. Then there's declaration, and lastly is actually paying those the tax that you are supposed to after knowing your obligation, paying. So compliance ranges from all those things that I've mentioned, and the Kenyan person or business person or an employee should be able to understand all these things. Yeah.
And why do you think people fear compliance?
Why do people fear compliance? I think it's more of lack of information. Kenyans, all of us know that we should be filing returns. I bet all of us understand that we are able to maintain and sustain our country by filing returns. So what happens is there is a lapse between understanding what you're supposed to be doing and actually doing it. There is there is a big difference there about. So why do people fear compliance? I believe it's because of lack of education. And also there has been hostilities from KRA, especially to people that never complied. You hear someone was charged 9 billion and they are about because of penalties of not filing. So there has been hostility of when the taxman comes to you, there is a fear. If you hear a knock and your receptionist comes to the director's office and tells you that the taxman is here, the first thing is to shake and get a washroom near you so that first of all you help yourself. But it's not so. So we've experienced hostilities from the taxman, and also why people don't like compliance is because there has been a rap between the monies we're giving and how the government is actually utilizing our money. Yeah, so there has also been that lapse, and it also causes us to fear compliance. Lastly, is the small margins that the SMEs operate under. So I have a profit of 1,000, and then I'm supposed to give 300 shillings from that profit, and I still have a lot to do. That also has been making it challenging for the Kenyan person to comply. And lastly, bookkeeping. I don't have a record of my transactions, and I don't want to declare the right income. Actually, I don't even know how much I earned, leave alone not being able to declare. I don't know how much I earned because I didn't have proper book record across the year. That makes it very hard for you to comply and also to declare the right taxes and to declare the right obligation. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be because most of people, especially in Kenya, live from, or rather operate from what we call hand-to-mouth economy?
Yeah, there is that bit. And you see, declaring your taxes doesn't mean necessarily you pay money. For instance, there is a personal relief of 2,400 for every individual in Kenya. That translates to 28,000 and thereabout annually. Everyone who has an income band of below 288,000 annually is not supposed to pay tax. We're just requesting you to declare. So even if you are living hand to mouth and you're not able to afford 288,000 per annum, you still can't pay anything. So it's just that there is a lapse in education. Huyu mwananchi ambaye anapokea 50,000 the whole year. Come on, you won't pay any tax, but the tax man wants to understand where you are in. Yes.
It also applies to SMEs, like a business vendor selling smokies. Does it still apply the same? Because we understand most of our viewers tend to file nil returns. They don't know anything else about filing business taxes. You have mentioned a lot of taxes filing.
Tax obligations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to? How would you tell the SMEs not to get in trouble? Like,
okay. Once again, let me give a clear difference between nil returns and filing returns and paying nothing, because those are two different things. And I'll always take my time to explain to the common mwananchi where the difference is. Nil return means you never interacted with 1 shilling. The whole of that year, you had zero income. That is what nil return means. Most of the people that are filing nil returns actually should not be filing nil returns because they had income. They are traveling, they are selling something, they have been eating all along, so they are not supposed to be filing nil returns. On the other hand, there is now filing returns and ending up paying nothing because of the personal relief, insurance relief that are provided by KRA. So KRA understands that the common mwananchi is blessed. So what do they request? They are requesting you to just declare your 190,000 that you earned across the year. If you just do that, you're still below the 218,000 wind bad that you are covered by care and you cannot pay anything. So let's move from nil returns and let's begin embracing filing returns. And if you are below 280,000, you are still safe. So I'm speaking to an SME person somewhere who fears and is still feeling the need to file nil returns and they don't want to pay anything. You don't have to. But Kaidre, because you have income, move from nil return and let's begin filing the returns that actually show you had income because you had income. I think that's what I have to say. Yes.
And I think the conversation is coming at the very right time because sometimes I was contending that as much as we are here on people's neck, you know, people, especially somebody said if you want to hide something from Africans, put it in writing.
Sure.
We hate information. But I think it's also because we had a time for getting information.
Yes.
And that is in our schools.
Yes.
Why don't you, or rather the KRA, or rather the Revenue Authority, co-work with the education system so that we don't have so much labor out here sensitizing people around taxation, whereas it could be part, instead of teaching our children the parts of an insect and some unnecessary stuff, why can't we put some of this very significant information for the growth of our economy in our curriculum? I believe when we were studying business, and or rather even in primary school, I think it was under, was it science or what was it? I think some of this information could be very significant if it was there. So that as a kid is growing up, most of us are coming to learn about taxes when we need to pay taxes.
Yes.
But before then, that was just a jargon and another buzzword used by big people. But I think it is of essence now we start to understand that these young people are the people who are growing to become business moguls tomorrow. These are the people who are coming to shape our economy in the future. Then investing information in them as early as as young as they are, I think it's the most lucrative time. What do you think?
I think I don't want to really blame our education system. We've grown over time. Our 844 system and where our education system began, the goal was to produce professionals. And these professionals will help people in the society. So the way 844 functions as one who has passed through 844 was let's educate people and let's get professionals. Let's get accountants and all these people and let these people come to the market and help us in helping people in everything that we want to do. But over time, I understand what you're saying, that we need to change that system to ensuring that the basic things like taxation are included in our education system. All the same, I don't think that's the solution because, for instance, the taxations I've mentioned for you, exercise duty, custom duty, income tax, all these things, even in mathematics, we were doing so many sums of income tax, 30,000, then at that point someone is being charged 15%, then at 45,000 you're being charged 25% and going to income tax. I remember those mathematics in Form 3 and in Form 4, that was taxation. And still it didn't really make sense to us because we were not yet there. It's like teaching one driving, and then they will stay 10 years without ever touching a vehicle, and then they will have to do refresher courses. So there is a balance there. I accept we need sensitization at early stages, but I feel like it's been there. What we need to do is an overall change of culture in terms of sensitization and also Kenyans adopting some of these things as part of their day-to-day life. I think that's my take. We can have a win-win on what you're saying.
Yeah, because I think what we've been doing over time is sensitization when it matters.
Yes.
Sensitization when it matters.
Yes.
But I think spreading that, we are still doing it when it matters.
Okay.
But spreading that overboard, so that at this time we also don't have so much of a discrepancy between the people with the information and the people who are very green. Because I can assure you 80% of Kenyans in terms of taxation are very green.
Yes.
So I think there's a big lapse there that needs to be addressed keenly, majorly from the relevant bodies.
Yes.
It is also of significance we highlight a little bit about documentation.
Okay.
It is a topic that you highlighted heavily.
Yes.
And I think our viewers would be so much interested to understand. For businesses, I think it is easy.
Okay.
But most people in our economy,
Yes.
The freelance rangers.
Okay.
These are people who I will get a 500 from a deal here.
Yes.
I will sell a watch there.
Okay.
I will participate in selling a shamba as the aid agent in this other deal. And at the end of the day, I have my 2,500.
Yes.
So when you now bring on board the concept of bookkeeping, I think it's troublesome in a way.
Okay.
How can it be simple for a common man?
Thank you. I think we take it too far when you're talking about documentation, but it's very simple. As simple as number one, a WhatsApp message is enough documentation. Like I was watching a ruling that was made by the Tax Tribunal Court on a man who had solicited money for campaigns and also money for his dowry. He was able to solicit 9 million for his dowry and his wedding. And then the tax man came on his neck and he wants to know the source of the money. And he also wants to know how he spent the money. And you see, this was personal money. And do you know what bailed this man? He had screenshotted the WhatsApp group of the dowry and the wedding. And so he was able to prove that these people gave their money as alms and as gift towards my dowry and my wedding. That is number one. Number two, he was able to show him his transactions, funding campaigns and producing posters and all these things, just by the virtue of those small things. Screenshots, retaining WhatsApp messages. So WhatsApp can bail you out of KRA. Number two is email. If you're paying someone, especially for a business, and you're paying rent also, if the guy you're paying rent doesn't want you to have their PIN, to use their PIN, just tell them, give me an email, so that every time I'm paying you rent, I'm able to communicate, kindly confirm that you received 10,000 for the month of March as part of my rent. And when KRA will come requesting for you to explain where you used the money that is already in your bank account, you show them the emails that were there. That is number two. Number three is just a normal book where you'll be documenting things and writing the dates there. That this is money, I bought one packet of smokies, and this is how much I bought at it. And then it has dates. If KRA comes and finds you with a good book of your daily transactions and the people you paid, even if you don't have so much formalized things, you still be bailed out at that level. And fourth is receipts and invoices. When you buy something that belongs to your business, just keep that receipt with you. It will help you somewhere. So when you're talking about documentation, it's the simple things that matters, that will act as evidence that you actually spend that money and you spent it for business use. And lastly, avoid mixing business money with your personal money. When KRA comes and meets 5 million on your personal account, and then you're trying to explain it's business money, it will take you a big hassle to explain how the two accounts are interrelated and they are not business. They will come to your personal account and they will assume everything is business thereof. So I also advise on business people, separate your business account from your personal account. Let the business account be a separate entity that is able to support itself. I think those are some of the small measures that the SMBs can adapt. Yeah.
So I think documentation and proper recording is non-negotiable. It is what is going to bail you out in when that day comes, because it comes.
Yes.
Especially you are a person who wants to grow and rise in the business. I was watching a certain podcast.
Yes.
By one Reverend Julian. And he was saying that anytime he mentions about his businesses and his earnings on podcasts, the following day KRA they are knocking on his door. So I think one day, one time, a day that all of us don't want to agree that it is forthcoming. The best thing you can do to yourself is be prepared, and the easiest way to be prepared is have proper documentation, proper bookkeeping, and as we've been guided by our expert here, let's talk a little bit about digital taxation.
Yes.
Because I also believe it is also an area so many of us are still lagging behind in terms of understanding what it entails, how to cruise about there, and how to do it the right way. Maybe we can start by posing a question there. Do you think that most businesses are resisting the digital compliance, or are they simply having challenges with adapting?
Let me begin by saying this. Digitization is not only with KRA. They are just riding on a wave. Digital coach will tell you we are living in a season we're calling Industry 4.0. It's a revolution that is coming with the integration of artificial intelligence and technology in our day-to-day activities. So when we see KRA doing this, they're not the only people doing it. It's a wave that all of us must ride in. Number one, let's appreciate that it's a positive move. True. And it's to the betterment of our systems. So now many people are not yet aware of what this digital taxation is all about. When we're talking about digital taxation, mostly we're talking about e-teams and also the chatbots that KRA is using in helping us comply. So e-teams is the biggest conversation. We had the conversation last week. True. And people are struggling in this area. I would request this, that as soon as you are able, it's not expensive. There are videos on YouTube. As a business person, I think if new things come, it's paramount if we take some time and learn them. We were using Kaduda, the small mobile phones, smartphones came. We take some time to learn. There were typewriters, and then there came the desktops that we are using, and they are printing with the printers. We learned and we adjusted. For KRA also, I'm challenging business people to take some time and try and understand what KRA is doing by watching YouTube tutorials. True. Number two, tuning into such sessions. Number three, just hiring a professional for 1 1 hour, 2 hours. Let them sit down with a laptop and let them explain to you bit by bit. We might not be able to do that at this point, but you can just hire someone 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, sit down with them and let them teach you. Even if you are not able to do that, take yourself to KRA offices. There are no people I have found as benevolent as KRA officers. You meet them at Vika, you meet them at town, wherever there is a KRA office, and go tell them, I want you to file my returns. Actually, we charge people to file their returns. Did you know, if you take yourself to the KRA offices, they will file for you free of charge. Employment income, nil returns, all these ones, they file for free. So these guys are benevolent. Lastly, you can even make a call to them for clarification. These people are able to help us. So in as much as we are talking about them coming to sensitize to us, I feel they have a toll-free number, they have their offices, they have YouTube tutorials, weekly things that are happening, videos they are posting. We can always get this information. So I'm requesting an SME person, you're there and you're listening to me, kindly take some time and adjust and learn like every other season where we run and relearn and unlearn.
True. And I think that is the literacy of the 21st century.
Sure.
People who are ready to learn and run and learn and relearn. And I think it is also significant for us to highlight that in our village, there is a saying, I don't know whether it will come out the way it comes out. We usually say that there's a time for swallowing that carbon. I don't know whether if you get it, if you don't get it, I think this is such a time because if you want to be successful in any way, business, profession-wise, and in any other way, even farming, financial literacy and specifically taxation matters it is an unnegotiable topic. It is your due responsibility. As much as we are blaming government agencies to make sure you understand, it is also your responsibility as a Kenyan citizen to understand. And I think Bran has helped us a lot. He has told us that KRA doors are open and the people in there are very hospitable. They are very much willing to explain to you, to help you understand, and also to help you even file the returns for free. So if you find yourself behind, I think we can at that point say, blame yourself. Karen, what do you think? Yes, sir.
On that note also, we have a WhatsApp bot called Shuru.
Okay.
Shuru is able to file for you nil returns for free. But apparently I'm still charging to file nil returns for them that don't know. But if you're there and you're tuned in and you are watching, if you just chat with the KRA chatbot, and you're filing nil returns, it's free of charge. That chatbot on WhatsApp will file it for you, like immediately. So if you're there and you are still in nil return, it will do that for you. If you also want to know your auto-populated income, you can still chat on Shuru, with Shuru on WhatsApp, and Shuru will also help you knowing what is your auto-populated income for the year 2025, free of charge.
So we have an artificial intelligence bot.
Yes.
To help us in filing nil returns. Mbogia nil returns, we are sorted. Our 250 is saved. But that is precisely for them that are watching now.
Yes.
For those who are not watching, I think hiyo imewapita. Karen, maybe in a few seconds, what do you have to say?
I want to chip in something that we will discuss in the next segment, in the next half segment. There's something I don't think we did address last time. Most of Kenyans, like basically Kenyans, our mothers, our fathers, when it comes to filing returns, they visit the cyber cafe to get the services. But again, how can you trust that your PIN is safe in such structure? How risky is it to give your PIN and walk away?
Well, I also think the issue of cyber cafes is an issue we need to discuss. The Kenyan businessman doesn't know what the cyber cafe guide does with their PIN. They just go and present their PIN, they are sent a reset password, and then that happens. They are not your accountant, they are not anyone close to you, you don't know what they do, and then they just file for you. So we're calling for the Kenyan business person or the mwananchi to ensure they understand what the cyber cafe guide does to your PIN. As they are filing it for you, it's not a secret. Kindly, you paying them. Just see what are they doing.
And I think what we can do is make sure that once they log in, they also log out when you are there and they don't save your passwords.
Thank you.
In just 2 minutes, we will be coming back to you live. Brian is here to answer as many of our questions as possible. Keep them coming. This has been KBN first segment. See you in 2 minutes. Don't touch that dial.
Every great journey begins with a single step. And at Jesse K. Hospital College of Health Sciences, that step is met with warmth, guidance, and possibility. Here, learning goes beyond the books. It is where future healthcare heroes are nurtured by passionate instructors who believe in their potential. From theory to practice, our healthcare assistant students gain real-world skills in real healthcare settings, preparing them to serve, support, and make a difference from day one. Because at Jesse K. Hospital College of Health Sciences, we don't just teach healthcare, we empower excellence. Admissions are now open for our January and February intakes. Step into your future today. Find us at Blessed House, 5th floor, opposite Garden City Mall. Jesse K. Hospital College of Health Sciences, empowering excellent healthcare.
Welcome back. This is KBN. Welcome to our second segment of tax compliance from our own perspective. Last time we had a deliberation from the KRA's perspective, and today we are here so that we can see it from our human perspective, or rather the Kenyan mwananchi, or to better call Wanjiku's perspective. And Ndome Brian is helping us demystify that wonderful conversation, and he's coming to our level of understanding, because I also believe before he became an expert, he was also one of us, and he was not talking the way he's talking today, but we forgive him for his professionalism. But we are happy that he has also been benevolent enough to, and courteous enough to come and help us even understand. I believe one of the many people who can help you in a very big way is a person who can help you with information. That type of benevolence is very rare, and when we get it, we take care of it. I think the first episode has been amazing. Keep your questions coming. We'll be engaging with you in few minutes. But before then, allow me to bring back Karen on your matter of data. Yes, kindly bring us back.
Thank you so much, Ndome, I'll give you a case study.
Okay.
I am Karen.
Yes.
I'm not tax illiterate. So I go to my local cyber cafe. I tell this person, file for me my return. But then I don't follow up, like I don't look closely what's going on. But he or she files my returns on my behalf, but there's a mistake there. Does KRA care whose fault it was?
Well, KRA doesn't care because you're the one who gave them the permission. All the same, they are the people licensed to act as a third party on behalf of a taxpayer. And a cyber cafe agent apparently is not licensed to do that. So every time a cyber cafe agent files for you, they act on your behalf. That is you filing. But these are the guys who are now licensed by KRA to act as third-party agents that can be questioned in case of wrong filing. But for the cyber cafe, you're the one. All the same, there are amendments. You can amend your filings, but it should happen within the deadline. So you have a responsibility of knowing what was actually filed and whether it was the correct one. So that if it's not the correct one, before the deadline is over, you're able to amend.
Oh, there's an amendment.
Yes.
That's wonderful. But again, is there any cost for doing the amendment, and who are the third parties for carrying your returns?
With what is happening currently, and KRA is really discouraging new returns and is sensitizing Kenyans on why they are not supposed to be filing new returns. The place of a cyber cafe guy is kind of being removed from the tax systems, and we are only being left with professionals and people who understand what they are doing. So especially if you're not filing new returns, I would advise you to avoid the cyber cafe guy unless they are a financial expert unless they are trained in handling matters taxation, and you can bear witness that they have been doing it. New returns have been so easy. In KRA, I mean, KRA has been expecting common mwananchi can file new returns. Even anyone can file that. That is why the cyber cafe guys are able to do that. But now when it comes to using P9, P10 forms and also auto-populating people's income and helping them to validate their expenses, it goes beyond just knowing to understanding and also being at par with what KRA is doing. You asked me and I'll tell you, I watch a video we create that KRA are prone on what they are doing, and therefore I'm at par with the tax laws and what is happening in the country, and therefore I'm in a better position to help someone because that is my field, that is what I'm trained in. So I'm not really taking the bread out of the cyber cafe guy's mouth, but I feel his time is coming to an end.
Yeah. Okay. Especially with the shuru.
Yeah, especially with the shuru, the new returns are sorted.
Better.
Yes.
Allow me to appreciate some of our partners on Faith Today Television, people who've been supporting Faith Today Television, and they've also taken it a notch higher. There will be some of our main sponsors even during our 3rd anniversary on that January. And on the list, we have KK Law and Associates. Big up KK Law and Associates. We also have Jesse K Hospital. They're actually the people who sponsor one of our programs, the Healthy You program. Thank you so much, Jesse K Hospital. We also have our very own church, Overcoming Faith Church, under Bishop Peter Ndongo. Thank you so much, Overcoming Faith Church, even for hosting this wonderful television. That of July is our day, and we are also bringing it to your attention that the partnership is also open to you. Make sure that you can buy a table, you can get a gold or even a silver card as low as 30,000. Securing a table for your own company, for your brand, take it globally, is only at 100,000, and in it are many advantages and benefits, because we'll be running your ads on television, we'll be sharing your ads on our socials, and even our community members. So make sure you grab this wonderful opportunity. It is here and it is for us. Ndome Brian, before we proceed allow me to bring it to your attention that I happened to be part of a certain youth meeting, and the youth were bringing a very wonderful contention here. And the argument was, should tax compliance, or rather the tax obligations for youth, a youth in Kenya is anybody between 18 and 35 years, should it be the same for the youth and the rest of the populace? The contention was here. A young person, let's take a case in example. Most of us graduate at the end of 24. So by the time we are landing a job, securing a business or something, we are 26, 27. At that time is the time that we are trying to settle down a family. We are trying to open up our businesses. We are trying to get strategy even for scaling our businesses. We are learning our businesses. And we are also trying. We are also in the try and error period. Don't you think that the authority, or rather the government, should have different policies for the youth? And I think this would actually build the economy more, because once you take care of the youth for that period, that will be around 28 to 35 years. That's a gap of like 7 years. I think that could be enough for these people to build their businesses in a mega way. And then by the time they are 35, taxing them will not be a problem. Don't you think we should have such an injection there?
Yeah, what you're talking about is creating an enabling environment for business.
Yes.
That is exactly what you're saying, for the young people especially. And I feel it's more legislative and in policymakers, and I think it's something that should happen. All the same, it's a sensitive matter. We have young people interacting with monies my father has never interacted with.
That is correct.
At 70, my father has not interacted with those tens of millions, but I have a young man driving a GLE that is changing cars on the road. And now we shield them from this taxation. And it's a bit sensitive. So what KRA has done, it has only categorized people with income. If you're earning this amount of money, if you're earning $1 million, irrespective of your age, pay this amount of money. So we can handle it, but it's a bit sensitive. I think how KRA has been handling it is more balanced. Now we're talking of how do we incorporate the youth needs in that. But you should also take into consideration what I'm talking about, that we have young people earning more income than any other person who has been earning. Again, if they are shielded and they are the productive age of the country, what will happen, even our tax collection will go down. And that is to mean in the season of youth, we will not be developing the country because anyway they are the productive. So I don't know how we strike the balance, but with good research and an engagement and sitting down with these people, I'm sure we can come up with something.
Yeah, but I think there is a certain clause we can inject and say maybe youths earning a certain amount, not the usual 28,000 on salary, but also inclusive of business, youth in business.
Yes.
Because I think for them they have been left out in a way there. If we can have such a policy that is saying maybe any youth-led business that is earning between, that is making an income between amount X to amount Z, that bracket is shielded from taxation, or rather their taxation is special in a certain way. I think we would encourage more innovation, we would encourage more entrepreneurship, because at the time of entry, most youths fear KRA. One of their biggest fear is KRA. There is a time I had engaged a certain young man and they work on online platforms. And I had asked them, would you be willing to be paid through your bank? And while that was a very genuine and honest question, their response was, I don't want to be in the eyes of KRA, because at that particular point, even without knowing the consequences, they already fear KRA. So I think if we are able to create a friendly tax regime for these young people and onboard them consecutively, or rather with a certain flow, we would create a better culture around the same, and also realize better collections from our authority. That is, I think, just food for thought. Allow me to recognize some of our followers. We have Peace Be Valid. This is a man of God. Thank you so much for tuning in all the way from Embu. Thank you so much, sir. I also see Enoch Kitonde Kija. Thank you so much, sir, for tuning in on our platform. Keep your questions coming, and Ndome Brand is here ready to answer as much of them as possible. Karen, what do you think so far?
It's wonderful. I want to take us a bit back further. Lewis, you mentioned about financial literacy. It got me thinking, does financial literacy and tax knowledge go hand in hand together?
Yes, as we're saying, financial literacy is incomplete without tax education. Because wherever there is money, there is a tax man. Whenever there is finances, there are tax obligations. And so for us, especially for me, I'm so much into personal finance even than corporate finance. I'm intentional in incorporating tax education. I took some time, and I want to do it even more in the coming days before June, to go visiting business people in their towns and talking with them about personal finance management. And in that, I'll be helping people understand tax education. Because taxation is also one of the things that making people bankrupt, because KRA wants it's audits you, and then you have tax obligations and you have penalties. You have to use your personal finance to pay this money. Or if you have personal finance and you want to venture into business, because of the fear of KRA and the tax man, you don't venture into business with your personal finance because of the fear of the tax man. But if you are well educated on how to carry yourself with a tax man, it becomes very easy even to do business and to grow your personal finance. So yes, financial literacy and financial education isn't complete without tax education. That unit must be there in personal finance coaching. Yes.
Wow. Yes.
Let's go back to documenting, like having receipts, having the accounts book, having everything. Again, right now we are headed to the month where the deadline is closing in. What would you tell a business that feels like they're running behind and are scared to come forward? What would they do? They don't have the receipts, they haven't been documenting. What would they do?
Thank you. So for this time round, and when we're talking about compliance, remember, filing returns is just one thing in compliance. So you can decide to begin being compliant now, irrespective of whether June is near or not, for the purposes of the coming days when it comes to documentation. But now, if you're there and you've not been keeping proper records, we can always try with what you're remembering and use your M-Pesa statement and your bank account, and then we try to remember some of your transactions. You realize KRA might not have a big problem if there is no big discrepancy between what you declared and actually what you earned. So if you were able to validate your bank statement with the expenses and how you used your money in the filing, then KRA might not have a big problem. The problem comes when there is auditing, and the problem now comes to me and you when we are filing your returns, when now we want to match your bank statement with the expenses you've made. So it's not hard. We can try to balance your bank statement with what you're remembering and file for this time around. But for next year, I request you that if we are able to buy just a book, 50 shillings for a Ranger book, just 100 shillings for a 4-choir book, just creating an email free of charge. There are simple things that we are able to do, and they will save us a big time moving forward.
Wow, amazing. And thank you so much for even that clarification. And checking in from our viewers, some very good questions are coming in, and I have Fidelis here who is saying, good morning, Faith. Today, is there a way for first-time offenders to get waived penalties if they voluntarily comply later?
Well, there's something we call amnesty and also tax waiver. They have not yet announced it for this time around, but I'm hoping they will announce. If not for any good reason, for political reasons. If they are able to do that, we will really appreciate. There are always waivers and amnesties, but they're not guaranteed. KRA expects that after a penalty, you should pay the penalty. You can also apply for a waiver even if the waiver season has not been announced. You can apply, and then they will cut some. If you had been penalized 20,000, maybe you can be told to pay 10,000. If you explain that I'm a first timer, I never knew the deadlines, I'm sorry, I'll not repeat this again, and we just have a good write-up, we are able to get a waiver even when it's not a waiver season, but it's not guaranteed and it might take some time. So even if you're a first-time offender, we can only wait for the waiver time or the amnesty time. We can also pay, and those are the only possible solutions that we are having currently.
Okay.
Yes.
And Joe is also asking, can tax debt affect your ability to get jobs, loans, things like that?
A big time. Big time. For loans, there are bank loans you can't get without your proper bookkeeping. Imagine even for bookkeeping, there are loans you can't get without bookkeeping. Again, this debt can transition you to CLB. It's able to add you to CLB. That day, the tax debt prevents you from getting a tax compliance certificate. This is actually the biggest hassle among them all. Because for a loan, you need a tax compliance certificate. For a tender, you need a tax compliance certificate. There are some jobs that will require TCC. To get a TCC, you have to pay the money. If it's 200,000, 300,000, you have to pay them. Or else, you go and discuss with KRA installment paying. They first of all give you a temporary TCC, and then you'll be paying in installments. So yes, tax debt is a big block to financial development and also capital access. I think that's it.
Okay, and somebody is also asking, I'm employed, but I think this is a good question. I'm employed, but my company already deducts pay. Why am I still filing returns myself?
Thank you. So what we're doing by June, January to June, it's a season that combines two things. One, okay, that's what we call the filing season. So filing has several things inside it. One is declaring, and number two is paying the taxes. So there are people in this season, they will just declare. One, for nil return people, they will just declare. Two, for the people that have been employed, your employer has been deducting. So you just be declaring your income so that what you declare matches with what your employer has been deducting for you. So for you, there will be little or nothing to pay. You just be declaring your income so that there will be no discrepancy between what your employer declared and what you will be declaring. So I think that's it. Nothing is expected of you, only declaring.
Okay. I think that is clear to you. You just need to declare. Anne, all the way from Roysambu, is saying, I rushed to get KRA PIN for job years ago, and now I don't know what to do with it. Is this going to cause a problem?
A big problem. I would want to know how many years it has been since you got your PIN and you're not filing, so that we mourn together. KRA expects you to declare, even if it's nil returns, annually, without which you will be fined 2,000. So if it's 5 years, just by failing to declare, it's okay you did not get the job. It's okay you have not been having income. But the law says declare your nil returns. If you don't declare, there is a penalty of 2,000. So I am requesting you, let's begin filing now. Let's first of all file those 5 years that you've not filed, or 2 years. That will be a penalty of 2,000 each year. But moving forward, let's prevent those fines from accumulating and growing more. Let's be more sensitive now moving forward. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. I think, Anne, you are better guided now. But you said she should look for you. You mourn together.
Yes.
I think you don't have to worry so much, Anne. Begin now.
Yes.
Now that you know, begin now. The penalty that you'll have to incur, I think, as Ndome said, it can also be negotiable. Peradventure, now that we're in a political season, we are anticipating a waiver or amnesty in the coming days. So you just prepare yourself accordingly. You might be a lucky winner today.
Yeah, so tell Anne to look for a financial consultant immediately.
Okay.
Immediately.
Okay.
Let's first file all the returns that she has not filed, and then let's wait for the waiver, now being compliant.
That begs the question. Okay, she has not, let's say she has not filed the returns for 5 years. So you have to like go back and return for each year, and then you pay the penalty fee.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I think, Anne, your case is sorted. Reach out to Ndome or any other financial expert in your reach, and there should be a capacity to sort you out. Ian is also asking a very good question here. Ian is saying, if I opened a business, but it never really operated, what am I supposed to declare?
Thank you. You are supposed to declare no income. The point is, everyone with a PIN must declare once every year their income. No income, declare nil return. You had income, file returns. Even if they are not within the taxable income, you just file it. If you don't, a penalty. If it's a company PIN, 20,000. A personal PIN, 2,000 for not declaring. So declare.
Okay, and also somebody else is asking, in the case of, I made losses this year, and I also made losses next year. Are the losses carried forward so that they can be deductible from an income that I'll make in a later date to help me with my income?
Actually, that has been one of the ways people have been doing tax avoidance.
Okay.
Yeah. So people have been declaring losses, but moving forward, it's not possible. Okay. But if you've already been declaring losses, then good for you. Every income that you get, and that tax will be deducted first of all to cater for that loss. So you are okay with that.
You said right now it is not possible.
It's not possible because of validating expenses.
If you validate them and it is actually
Thank
a loss?
you. If you are validating expenses and you actually have a loss, it will be carried forward to next year.
Okay.
Yes, so you are also lucky. For a person making losses, KRA has no business with you. It wants to create an enabling environment for you until you begin making profits.
Okay.
Yes.
I think that is good for our consumption. So for those of you who are especially in the primary stages of your business, most businesses start making actual income in the 4th, 5th year.
Yes.
So for the first or the primary years, make sure that your books are very clean so that your expenses can be validated.
Yes.
Anytime you are filing your returns, so that that can always be brought forward to the coming year and to your rescue from the tax man. Yeah. I think this conversation has been awesome and great, Ndome Brian, and I think it is also of essence that we bring it down to this common business person. This common business person, tell them the advantages of paying tax beyond tulipe ushuru tujitegemee kama taifa. What are their benefits to them as a business person? Why is it very, very much important to them as business people even to pay taxes for their own good? Okay. Which are these? Just highlight a few benefits as we wind up.
Thank you. I'll begin from insisting on what we've been insisting all along, that not being compliant is a loss in itself. Those penalties will come to haunt you. So if you are compliant, first of all, you avoid so many losses in terms of penalties. That is number one. Number two, you will be able to access capital in an easier way when you are compliant. We talked of tax compliance certificate. We've talked of tax debts and all these things. If you have them, it becomes very hard even for banks to trust you if you are not compliant. Actually, it's a requirement by banks to only transact with people that are compliant with KRA. So I beseech you, for the purposes of ensuring you are able to access capital, kindly be compliant. And also, when you're talking about bookkeeping and documenting, is more so to your benefit than to the taxman. When you're able to know your expenses, when you're able to track your income, when you're able to track your employees and what you've been able to pay them, when you're able to track all these things, it helps growing your business even more than it helps the taxman. I am aware and I'm a living testimony of what bookkeeping is able to do to businesses. So if you're there, you don't know your expenses, you don't know your income, you have not separated your business account from your personal account, I beseech you by the mercies of God, I beseech you once again, kindly separate your business money from your personal money. It will help you in growing your business. It will even help you in knowing how much your business is able to get in terms of loans, depending on how it is growing. So in short, I'm saying bookkeeping helps you even in a better way than the way it helps the taxman. So that's what I would say in terms of the benefits of being compliant. And again, it creates an enabling environment for you. You don't have to do business in fear. You don't have to see someone on a reflector written KRA and then you're telling your employees to close the whole business because you don't know what they are coming to do. You'll be living as a free man, and whomsoever the Son of Man sets free is free indeed. So you better leave a free man from the taxman. It creates an enabling business environment for you.
Wow, and they also say that freedom is expensive. Before it gets very expensive, make sure you secure it for yourself.
Yeah.
Karen, kindly give a parting shot as we wind up.
Thank you so much, Lewis. Thank you, Brian, for taking us through this segment. And thank you for our viewers for tuning in today. I think today's conversation has shown that many businesses are not failing because of compliance, because they avoid taxes, but because people still lack enough information and guidance. So today, tomorrow, or just plan yourself, visit that KRA office near you to get information and guidance. And hopefully the discussion helps more SMEs, young entrepreneurs to approach compliance with more confidence and understanding.
Wow. Thank you so much, Karen. And thank you for also engaging and helping us get as much as possible from this wealth of wisdom. Ndome, Brian, kindly give a parting shot and also remind our viewer how they can get hold of you peradventure they need any of your services.
Thank you. Are you there? You are an SME, you are employed, you are doing your self-employment, or you're in your own business. I came to remind you that KRA is more of your friend than your enemy. I came to remind you that you don't have to comply out of fear. You can comply out of understanding. You can also comply because you need to, and it will support our country. And also it will create a good environment for you. Compliance is not hard. Freedom is cheap nowadays when it comes to KRA. Let's file your returns. If you've not filed for some years, it's the high time now. Begin filing. Let's see you complying moving forward. It's not hard. We'll help you. Get a tax compliance as soon as possible. Stop trusting your cyber cafe guy. Ensure every time you're making transactions that you're doing the proper bookkeeping. It will help your business more than it will help the taxman. But even if you don't have any other reason, kindly do it for the taxman. It will help us in reconciling your transaction. Ensure you keep track and you separate your business money from your personal money. It will help you big time. And because financial literacy is not an event, it's not something just you're taught. It's something that you're coached. And when we're talking about coaching, it's something that we monitor from time to time. This month, next month. It might take you a year to adjust what you know and then come to what actually you should be knowing. So I advise you, get professional help. Let someone work with you in this journey of making your business compliant and also in ensuring that your finances are well structured. And that is why some of us are there for you. My name is Ndome Brand. Get me on 0768409742. Again, 0768409742, and Ndome Brian on all my social media handles. Thank you for having me. I'm happy, sir.
Wow, thank you so much, Ndome Brian. Even for the benevolence of your wisdom, we've learned a lot, and you can be sure our businesses, our personal finances will never be the same again. This has been your digital coach here on KBN. And until next time, bye-bye.